Hey everyone, Dylan here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a anime review video of Naruto. So I just recently started rewatching Naruto, um, of course being blind, and it's part 1 Naruto, so not Shippuden. And I was debating which arc to kind of count as like what, because you might count the Land of Waves arc separate from like the Academy arc and all that stuff in Kakashi's test, but I'm just gonna count it and the Land of Waves arc all in kind of one arc because it's just kind of like the beginning of the story and where it's opening up the world and everything. So I'll just talk a little bit about it and like my experience with Naruto, just as this. So yeah, I'm gonna just be reviewing Naruto, like Land of Waves arc and the beginning. So just when the first time I saw Naruto, the original Naruto, I was about 9 or 10 years old, and I remember this very vividly when it was coming on. It came on Toonami for the very first time, and they aired the first and second episode. I think the first episode was Enter Naruto Uzumaki, and I just remember being really hyped for it and really excited. I don't know why, but this just show they kept like hyping up, and so I remember the night that I got to watch it, and it was awesome. I watched the first 2 episodes, and then they re-aired them right after they aired the episode 1 and 2. They aired episode 1 and 2 again right after, like a double thing in case you missed it, and I rewatched them. So I watched episode 1 and 2 twice that night, and I liked it both times. It was something new and cool, and right when I was a kid, and I grew up with Naruto, so well, just a little bit of a special place in my heart, a little bit. So I really like it, and the starting of it, the beginning. If you don't know what Naruto is, please go watch it. But in these arc reviews and stuff, I will spoil things. I'm gonna be really honest. I sometimes try to do anime reviews where I don't spoil things, but it's kind of hard with Naruto not to spoil things. So be warned. But a brief summary, Naruto takes place in this ninja world where there's like ninjutsu with the hand signs. It's like magical powers, basically. And with chakra, there's taijutsu, the fighting, there's genjutsu, shinobi tools, ninja stuff. Kind of like that sort of thing. And Naruto is a kid who is training to become an actual ninja in the beginning of the story, and he's not good at being a ninja, basically, and he has this demon, kind of like this thing called a nine-tailed fox that was sealed inside of him, and so everyone thinks he's a monster, and like both of his parents are like dead. He doesn't have any parents, and so he's alone. Everybody thinks he's a monster. Nobody likes him, and for the adults that know, the kids don't know that he has the demon inside of him, but they still like pick on him because he's not very good at in school and stuff, and so it's just kind of his story, seeing like how he like grows up and gets stronger and all that, and it's a good series. It's a good series. I could get into other things, but maybe I'll do that at the end of the part 1, because Naruto does change course after a while from the beginning what you think it's going to be. You think it's going to be an underdog story. And in the beginning, that's true, but it changes pretty quickly. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, that's Naruto. If you've never seen it, go watch it. It's awesome. It's great. I mean, you could watch it on Funimation. You could watch it on Netflix. It might be on Hulu as well. I don't actually know because I don't have Hulu right now. But yeah, you can at least watch it those 2 places. If you don't care about sub or dub or whatever, or you just want sub, then I'm sure Crunchyroll probably has it. I don't know. So just look around. Easiest to find is Netflix. I mean, who doesn't have a Netflix account? But yeah, so go watch that. That's great. But anyways, so that kind of happens. Naruto has trouble passing the final exam. To become a ninja, he gets manipulated a little bit. He learns the shadow clone jutsu because he steals a scroll, and pretty much, yeah, that's his signature move from then on because he learns the shadow clone jutsu, and then he finds one person that ends up caring about him in the kind of the beginning, which is Iruka, and do that stuff happens, and then he becomes a ninja, and then that's kind of the beginning, and then of course we have when he has to get a sensei, be assigned to a squad. They say that the squads are balanced. Sakura's a grade A student in brains, but not physically good. Sasuke is kind of really the highest in his grade and stuff, and then Naruto's the worst. So and then you get into Kakashi as their sensei, and in the beginning with the characters that you get with the part with between that and the Land of Waves and stuff. I don't like Sakura to be honest, and I still really don't even later on in the series, but I just didn't like her, and which is a lot of people's sentiments. I don't hate her as much as some people do, but I just don't like her. Sasuke, he was okay in the beginning of the series. For me, he was alright, but yeah, he's fine. Naruto, in the beginning, I didn't really like Naruto that much, but he got better later on. He got better later on as the series went, and so he's a little bit in his really annoying stages in the beginning, but otherwise he's all right. And then you get Kakashi, probably a big fan favorite, probably most people's favorite character in Naruto. I would assume because he's just cool and awesome. I would probably say Kakashi is my favorite character in Naruto, honestly, but that's just me. But yeah, they go through a survival test, and for those who don't know, if you are still watching this far or whatever, Kakashi is a Jonin. All the beginner students that graduate the academy become a Genin, which is the lowest ranked ninja, and then there's Chunin, and then Jonin are the elite. And so the Genin get assigned to a Jonin, and then he made him go through a test to try to work together and get these bells, and or else they were going to be failed and sent back to the academy. And they did not get the hint that he wanted them to use teamwork, and so a bunch of stuff happens, but he ends up giving them another chance, and they end up figuring it out. And then we fast forward, so that's kind of the survival arc. It was cool because the survival arc, or the bell test to get the bells, was a good introductory into showing ninjutsu, showing a bunch of different things. Even Kakashi, when he was fighting, he went over all the different forms when he was fighting them, taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu against everyone. So it's just an introductory of showing a little bit more what the ninja fighting is about, and tactics and combat. So I think it's a good arc in itself, and it's good to start with. And then we go next to the Land of Waves arc, which is the first, they get tired, Naruto gets tired of doing all these little crappy lame missions, and so he cries about it, and then so they finally give him a C rank mission where he actually is a bodyguard. They're a bodyguard for this bridge builder named Tazuna, and eventually, you find out, the thing about this arc that's really good is it helps open up the world of, first you get the basics of the ninja stuff, then you get how they fight, and then you get this mission to open up the world. You get the different nations talked about. You get kind of the world and how everything is set up. And so I think it's a really good arc to set up those things, and just a good starter arc. I actually really like it, and like the Land of Waves. And so with that, they go and start guarding Tazuna. He's a bridge builder. The whole thing about the Land of Waves is it's a really poor country, or nation or whatever, and they're trying to build a bridge to connect to the mainland so they can like help the people and fix things. But there's an assassin in a hideout to kill the bridge builder because there's a mafia boss basically who wants to keep control of the land of waves. And so that's kind of what. So then the guy kind of lied to Kakashi and Naruto and them to that it was just like a simple bodyguard thing. They didn't say there'd be ninja involved, but yeah, there's like another Jonin, who comes to try and kill Tazuna, and then the kids, the Genin, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke are confronted with an actual like a killer, an assassin, a real Jonin. Like, not that Kakashi wasn't, but Kakashi wasn't being for real. And so you kind of get the weight of how powerful a Jonin is, and then you get Kakashi fighting him, and a Jonin versus Jonin kind of battle, and during that you get a cool moment with Naruto and Sasuke where they kind of grow as a team and do some cool teamwork moves without even talking to each other. It was a cool moment. And then you get Kakashi fighting Zabuza, which is the assassin, and he uses his Sharingan, which is the thing we kind of find out about, which is this powerful eye jutsu that is it's a thing that's in Sasuke's family that only Uchiha have it, but Kakashi has it for reasons. And so yeah, it's just cool to kind of like go back through this stuff and see the early fights and see kind of how cool and simple the Sharingan was in the beginning, because it became a lot more, but just seeing how basic it was in the beginning, and there's just the beginnings of things, and then so that kind of happens. The fight with that kind of happens. Zabuza ends up getting saved, and then because they know that they're going to come back and try to kill the bridge builder again, Kakashi trains them in like this, controlling their chakra better and controlling like the chakra at the bottoms of their feet so they can climb a tree, basically walk up a tree with just their chakra and control. And so they do that, and that kind of training, and then they eventually get to the bridge. And I never really mentioned Haku, I guess, which is the person who's partnered with Zabuza. Zabuza kind of uses him as a tool, but Haku's okay with it. Haku's like near the age of Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura, and so they end up, fighting at the bridge, and we have a bunch of different stuff showing of like what it is what it means to be a shinobi, and like kind of like a look into that. Like, you have to be a killing machine and guard your emotions, and like you have to do all that stuff. And it shows Naruto and Sasuke fighting a really powerful enemy. Sasuke unlocks a Sharingan, and you think that this is another spoiler here, that you think Sasuke dies in the fight, and then Naruto rages out, like, not having ever had a comrade die before, and becomes his nine-tailed fox demon power kind of comes out with his rage, and he like beats the crap out of Haku, kind of. And, well, not, but he basically beats him. And during this, Kakashi fights Zabuza. We get more cool techniques and ninjutsu from Kakashi, showing his summoning jutsu to be able to summon like dogs, and then he shows his own jutsu, which is like he calls it a lightning blade, a lightning jutsu, and cool things like that. And then eventually, kind of like, Zabuza always seems like he's this demon of the mist, and eventually Naruto gets really mad because when Haku dies protecting him, Naruto gets really mad that he like didn't mean anything to him at all, and all that. And then eventually you see that Naruto's words get to Zabuza, and showing that even a killer can care about someone. So it can get pretty deep and interesting. So, and of course, you get an awesome moment where when things change, and Zabuza ends up being they're no longer enemies with Kakashi and them, and you kind of root for him for a minute when he just takes a kunai and kills a bunch of freaking basically gang members, and it's actually really cool. And then Naruto learning from it is like, is this really what being a shinobi is about and stuff? And Naruto's like, I'm gonna make my own path as a shinobi, like the path of Naruto. So it was just between the Land of Waves and the beginning of the series and this trial. It's just kind of this beginning part, just this setup to everything else, and I think it works really well, especially the survival test or the bell test, and then getting just the Land of Waves as a starting mission, just to see just the world expanding and everything. And I think it's really good. And there's a bunch of different teaching moments in the Land of Waves, so I think it's a good arc, and I like it. And back like a year, like there was like a middle point where like I loved it when I first watched the Land of Waves arc, and then there was a middle part when I was like a teenager, and I was like, I don't think the Land of Waves arc is that good. Like I didn't hate it; I thought it was all right. For some reason, but then later when I've gotten older, I'm just like, man, this is really good. So your opinions just kind of change as you age, I guess. And so I really like the Land of Waves arc. It's good. It's and rewatching it now, being blind and stuff, it's not much of a real difference, but you hear more of the sound effects, and because you just hear things more, you feel the emotion more and stuff sometimes. That's kind of my thing. I felt more emotion from things, and I got more hyped with the music and stuff. But overall, for my experience, for the most part, watching it blind has been mostly the same, maybe a little better. I still enjoyed it greatly. So I don't know. I think Naruto's great. The first part of Naruto is great. And the first couple arcs of Naruto are really good too. So I don't know. This is just kind of my review, kind of to talk about it thing about Naruto and how much I liked it and all that, my experience with it. I'm currently watching through the tuning exams, and I'll probably make a video on that too once I finish it and get my thoughts across on that. But yeah, so that's kind of been it. I don't know. I just kind of randomly did this, but more videos to come. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. I will see you guys in the next video.